Hey everyone, in this lesson we are multiplying whole numbers and mixed numbers together and then mixed numbers and mixed numbers together. So first off, multiplying whole numbers and mixed numbers, it says to multiply a whole number and a mixed number, rewrite the whole number as a fraction with a denominator of 1, right? So we know if I say 4 is really 4 over 1. 10 is really 10 over 1. So what I want to do is I want to rewrite my whole number as a fraction so that the number is in the numerator and then I just put 1 in the denominator. And we need to change the mixed number to an improper fraction. Once we do that, we're then going to be able to multiply them together. So for example, 5 times 8 and 1/2. So 5 is really just 5 over 1. We want to take any whole number and just throw a 1 underneath it to rewrite it in that form. But then we need to change our mixed numbers into improper fractions. So the way we take 8 and 1/2 is we take the denominator of 2. We do 2 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. And that 17 would then be our numerator. The denominator of that fraction is the same denominator that it was in the mixed number. So now we're doing 5 over 1 times 17 over 2. Remember, for multiplying fractions, you multiply straight across. I can check for cross simplifying here. I notice that 5 and 2 do not cross simplify. 1 and 17 do not cross simplify. So I'm just going to multiply straight across. 5 times 17 is 85, and 1 times 2 is 2. And that's my answer. So now I'm going to do the same thing for the next one. 4 and 3/5 times 10. So 4 and 3/5. I do 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23. So this becomes 23/5. And 10 is just 10 over 1. Now you can see that I did cross out some cross simplifying because what are 5 and 10 both divisible by? They're both divisible by 5. So if I did 10 divided by 5, that 10 would become a 2. 5 divided by 5, that 5 would become a 1. And now I multiply what's remaining. 23 times 2 is 46. 1 times 1 is just 1. And 46 over 1 is just 46. Easy. So now let's take a look at some practice problems. I have the first one, 2 times 1 and 1/4. So 2 becomes 2 over 1. 1 and 1/4, well, 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So that's now 5/4. Notice I cross simplified my 2 and 4 because I can simplify them both by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Let's go ahead and multiply what's remaining. 1 times 5 is 5, and then 1 times 2 is 2. Excellent. Next one, 12 times 3 and 2/3. 12 becomes 12 over 1. 3 and 2/3, well, let's see. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. So this is now 11/3. I crossed out my 12 and 3 because I could divide them both by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So now 4 times 11 is 44. 1 times 1 is just 1. And 44 over 1 is just 44. Next two, 3 and 4/5 times 6. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 4 is 19. So that's 19/5. 6 is just 6 over 1. I can't cross simplify a 19 and a 1 or a 6 and a 5. 19 times 6 is 114. 5 times 1 is 5. And so that's my answer, 114 over 5. Last one of this particular set, 4 and 3/8 times 8. So 4 and 3/8, 8 times 4 is 32, plus 3 is 35 over 8. 8 is really just 8 over 1. I can cross simplify out those 8s. They're both divisible by 8. That just becomes 1 over 1. And 35 times 1 is 35. 1 times 1 is 1. My answer is just simply 35. Pretty easy. So I'm going to give you the next 4 problems. As usual, I'm going to encourage you to go ahead, pause right now, write these problems on a piece of paper or a dry erase board, and see if you can get them right on your own, and then press play when you're ready to check. All right, hopefully you're ready to check. So let's see what we came up with. 7 over 1 times 31 over 6 would get us 217 over 6. 15 is really 15 over 1. 6 and 3/10 becomes 63/10. After cross simplifying 15 and 10 by 5, we're left with 3 over 2. And then our final answer is 189 over 2. Last two, 7 and 5/8 becomes 61/8. 14 is 14 over 1. 14 and 8 cross simplify by 2, which becomes 7 over 4. And my final answer, I'm left with 427 over 4. Okay, and the last one, 8 and 9 tenths becomes 89 over 10. 5 is then just 5 over 1. I then cross simplify. My 5 over 10 becomes 1 over 2. 89 times 1 is 89, and 2 times 1 is 2. I hope we did well. All right, next skill. All right, next skill, multiplying mixed numbers and mixed numbers together. So to multiply two mixed numbers together, we need to write them both as improper fractions, and then we're gonna go ahead and do our multiplication. So here, 5 and 3/4 times 8 and 1/2. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23, so that's 23/4. 8 and 1/2, 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17, so that's 17/2. I can't cross simplify anything here. 23 times 17 will give me 391. 4 times 2 is 8. That's it. I know these are big numbers, but that's the process. And so it doesn't matter if they're big numbers or small numbers, the process is going to be the same. 4 and 4/5. So 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24 over 5. 10 and 5/9. 9 times 10 is 90, plus 5 is 95/9. We can cross simplify. 24 and 9 divide by 3 to get 8 over 3. 95 and 5 simplify by 5 to get 19 over 1. 8 times 19 will give us 152. And then 1 times 3 is just 3. So for these last sets of problems, I'm going to go through these top 4, and then you're going to try the bottom 4 on your own. Again, I strongly encourage you to try the bottom set on your own to make sure that you can go through everything. All right, so 1 and 1/4. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5, so that's 5/4. 8 and 1/3. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25/3. Cross multiply. 5 times 25 is 125. 4 times 3 is 12. 11 and 3/5. 5 times 11 is 55, plus 3 is 58/5. 2 and 7/8. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 7 is 23/8. I can cross simplify 58 and 8 by 2, which will then make it 29/4. 29 times 23 is 667, and 5 times 4 is 20. 3 and 2/5. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17, so that's 17/5. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 2 is 29/9. Cross multiply these. Multiply straight across with these. We end up getting 493/45. Last one. 10 times 4 is 40, plus 6 is 46/10. 8 times 9 is 72, plus 3 is 75/8. 46 and 8 divide by 2, which would give us 23/4. 75 and 10 divide by 5, which would give us 15 over 2. 23 times 15 is 345, and 2 times 4 is 8. So go ahead and pause so you can try out these last 4 on your own, and then press play when you're ready to check. All right, let's check our answers. 23/4 times 21 over 2 is 483 over 8. 12 and 1/3 is 37/3 times 61/10, which would give us 2,257 over 30. 7 and 7/8 is 63/8 times 121 over 12. You can cross simplify 63 and 12 by 3 to get 21 over 4. And we're then left with 2541 over 32. 4 and 4/5 becomes 24/5. 8 and 5/6 becomes 53/6. Simplify 24 and 6 by 6 to get 4 over 1. And then we are left with 212 over 5. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.